After a couple episodes where the boys felt like it was spinning with its wheels a little bit, episode 6 finally slams the gas pedal and starts moving major pieces into place for that end game. Homelander is chasing immortality, Sister Sage plotting against him, the boys scrambling to find the V1 formula first, and then the episode ends with a reveal I genuinely did not think they were going to pull yet. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Surfing the Stream. I am Matt, and we are going to be talking about The Boys Season 5, Episode 6. And overall, I thought this was a really solid episode. Very plot-heavy, very setup-focused, but in a good way. This actually feels like the show is finally remembering that it only has a couple episodes left. The beginning of this episode is all about moving pieces into position. The boys bring in Chet Vanderbilt to help them track down Bombsight so they can get the V1 formula before Homelander does. And at the same time, Homelander's actively trying to recreate the formula with Sister Sage helping him. While Sister Sage is secretly staging a full-on coup to stop him from becoming immortal, that's a lot happening. But it actually works because, for once, everything feels connected to the main story. And thank God, because with only 2 episodes left after this one, it felt like we needed some urgency. We needed the story to get pushed forward in a decent way. One thing that I really appreciated in this episode were the quieter moments. That scene with Starlight and Hughie laying on the hood of the car looking at the clouds. It's simple, it's small, but it was really effective. We don't really get a lot of these moments with these characters in terms of season 5, I should say. Hughie having that unshakable optimism despite everything they've gone through. And it's a nice reminder that amidst all the gore and sanity, humor and sex jokes, superhero chaos, that these characters are still human at the end of the day. But let's talk about the nursing home fight, because that was ridiculous in the absolute best way. This is one of those action scenes that is way more comedy than action. And I really mean that as a compliment. You've got Butcher fighting an old man with what can only be described as a long nutsack rope. And then you got Frenchie casually walking in after the fight, staring at that long nutsack rope, squinting like he's trying to process what the hell he's looking at. The whole sequence just worked for me. Now, the fight choreography and what's actually like the violence going on in this particular scene is nothing to write home about. It's really the comedy that works for me more so than anything. It's just classic The Boys humor. It's all hilarious, and because I'm immature, I love it. Another thing that I appreciated was the show not dragging out Sister Sage's betrayal. Last episode, she basically made it clear she wasn't about to let Homelander become immortal. And this episode, she's not messing around. She's immediately helping the boys locate Bombsight and actively working against Homelander. Because if they had spent multiple episodes doing this whole is she loyal, is she not thing, it would have felt exhausting. And especially with there only being a couple episodes left, it would have felt rushed by the end of it. We know Sage always has an angle, and now the real question becomes whether her plan actually helps anyone or if she just wants chaos on her own terms. I do gotta say that Frenchie and Kimiko have quietly become my favorite part of season 5. Their relationship feels surprisingly grounded in a show that is everything but grounded. Frenchie wants Kimiko to take V1 because he doesn't want her to die, which makes sense. But Kimiko refuses to because she doesn't want to live forever, especially watching Frenchie waste away and die. It's a heartbreaking contrast between these two characters who do love each other, but they don't want to see the other one get hurt. You know, it's such a relatable emotional conflict underneath all that superhero nonsense. And the show has just done a really good job of fleshing out both of these characters and their motivations in season 5, which leads me to believe one of them is going to die. I don't know which one. It could go either way, but I don't see how there's a happy ending for these characters when it's all said and done. And then we also say goodbye to Black Noir, and I didn't really feel much. I know we've kind of gotten a little bit more from him over the last few episodes, more so than we did in previous seasons. I know it was a different Black Noir, but my statement still stands. I think the show did a decent job of making me care more about this version of Black Noir, But at the end of the day, this is still the death of a fairly minor character. I won't say he's like super minor, but he's right there in the middle. And we've already had a Black Noir death before. So emotionally, it just didn't land for me. I wasn't sad, wasn't shocked. It was more of a, oh, okay, well, that sucks. Same song, second verse, and it just felt like we were repeating things at this point. Now, what would have been different is if Black Noir would have killed the Deep. That would have been different, and that would have been a little bit more emotional because I mentioned before, the Deep is one of the more underrated characters in this show. And then at the very end, the big moment, Homelander actually gets the V1. And I'm not gonna lie, maybe it's me being dumb, maybe it's me not seeing the writing on the wall. I don't know. I genuinely did not think the show was going to go there. I wasn't expecting him to take the V1 formula. I was fully expecting the boys to destroy the formula or get it away from him in some way. But again, the signs were there. I guess with 2 episodes remaining, I wasn't expecting them to make Homelander immortal at the end of it, because now the story is going to feel rushed from this point forward. Sister Sage being so weirdly matter of fact about Soldier Boy destroying the formula definitely should have tipped me off here. So with only 2 episodes left, it's a lot of story to tell in just 2 episodes, I feel like. But overall, I thought this was a really strong episode. Plot finally moves forward in a meaningful way. The character moments land, and the ending genuinely raises the stakes. My only concern at this point is the pacing, because after some of the detours that the season has taken, and I know Eric Kripke has said that he had to flesh out these characters even more. I don't know. I don't know. I disagree with that. I think you have just taken on too much in a final season to really flesh out these storylines in a meaningful way. I really hope the ending here doesn't feel rushed when it's all said and done, with them trying to tie everything together. But for now, this was a good episode. But guys, let me know down in the comments below of what you thought about episode 6 for season 5 of The Boys. How are you feeling about the pacing of the show, these filler episodes, not necessarily this one, but the previous ones? What's your thoughts on the final season at large? Let me know down in the comments below. And while you're there, hit that like and subscribe button. That's really going to help us out. And with all that being said, I thank y'all for joining me for this review, and I will catch y'all next time on another one. Laters.